I would like to call the Cookeville City Council meeting for Thursday, March 2nd to order. May I have a roll call, please?
Councilman Baji. Here. Councilman Walker. Here. Mayor Wheaton.
Here.
Vice Mayor Eldridge. Here. Councilman Gilbert. Here. By President.
Thank you. I want to take a quick moment to mention that I think everybody remembers 3 years ago, our community was forever changed when an F4 tornado came through and we lost the lives of 19 people. And it was especially hard for here at City Hall when we found out about the loss of Jessica. But through these tragedies and loss, our community came together and truly defined the character of Cookeville. So I just want to take a moment to pause and to reflect on the lives that were lost, but also to remember that our God is one that grieves with us, and he was there that day, and he was there every day after, and he's with us now supporting this community. So if you don't mind, can we take a quick moment to pause? Thank you. At this time, I would like to ask those that wish to do so to stand for the invocation given tonight by Pastor Josh Hold'em from First United Pentecostal Church, to be followed by the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let's pray. Father, thank you for this day that you blessed us with. Thank you for life. Lord, we thank you for a great community that we get to call home. Lord, I ask that you just lead us, lead our leaders, order the steps of this community. Help us, Lord, to reverence you and help us to respect your rules, your laws, and all that we say or do. Give guidance to their decisions as they lead this community, and help us all to be about your business, serving you on a daily basis. Give us special blessings to each one of these servants in this room today. We'll give you praise for it. We'll thank you. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Pastor. Item 3, consider approval of agenda as presented. Are there any changes?
Yes, Mayor, we do have one change. We'd like to amend the agenda to add a new item 7G. The current 7G would move down to 7H, but the new 7G would be authorizing city manager to enter into a contract with the Office of Criminal Justice Programs, accepting a violent crime intervention fund formula grant and authorizing the purchase of an armored rescue vehicle with the grant monies, and also using a portion of our American Rescue Plan Act money. So I ask that we add that to the agenda. The sponsor will be Chief Evans.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Motion made by Vice Mayor Eldridge and seconded by Councilman Baji. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Old business, consider approval of minutes of council meeting held on February 16th, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Walker,
Second.
second by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Is there any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. Consent agenda. 6A, consider approval of pricing adjustments on transformer bid approved by the City Council on 5/5/2022. 6B, consider awarding bids for uniforms. 6C, set a date 4/6/23 for a public hearing on ordinance O-230403, amendments to the official street map. 6D, set a date 4/6/23 for a public hearing on ordinance O-230404, rezoning property located at 186 South Walnut Avenue, tax map 053-K, group 8, parcel 032.00, from RD single family residential and duplex to CL local commercial. And 6E, set a date 4/6/23 for a public hearing on ordinance O-230405, amending the zoning code to permit campgrounds and RV parks as use permitted upon appeal, special exception in the CL local commercial districts, and removing campgrounds and RV parks as permitted in the use of CG general commercial district. Is there a motion on the consent agenda? Is there a motion?
So much.
To approve?
Done.
Motion made by Councilman Gilbert and seconded by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7A, consider awarding bids for the sale and removal of houses at 3631 Old Bridge Road and 3775 Old Sparta Road. Mr. Mills.
Hey, council members, last month we solicited bids for the sale and removal of the two houses that the city owns that are located at 3631 Old Bridge Road and 3775 Old Sparta Road. That's the old Bridge Road house there. These two structures were acquired by the city last year when we purchased the property from Trinity, which is now Hope Church. Prior to soliciting bids to relocate the dwellings, we evaluated the possibility of cutting these homes off from the parent tracts. It was determined that subdividing the properties would limit the future potential use of the properties. So the decision was to try to just sell the houses, allow them to be relocated to another site so they could be reused or recycled. The bid specs provided that the successful bidder had to be a licensed contractor, had to provide certificates of various types of insurance, including liability. Houses again would have to be completely removed, relocated, not demolished. And all debris would have to be removed, the area cleaned up, traffic control provided, and safety measures in place. It also specified that the homes would be removed within 3 months. We opened bids on Monday, February 13th, and we only received one bid. To go to the next slide there, John, and it was for only one house. And that one bid for one house was from Matthew Thrasher for a bid of $5,428. And this is for the house at 3775 Old Sparta Road. So this was, I was hoping we'd get more than this for the house, but apparently it's pretty expensive to move one. And if we want it to be reused and relocated, this would be the way to go about that. And I'm going to recommend approval, your acceptance of the bid. I'd also respectfully ask that the council consider a separate motion to authorize the city manager to negotiate for the private sale of the remaining house, 3631 Old Bridge Road. We may still have somebody interested in that. We'd still like to see it relocated, removed. It's going to have to be at some point. Just sitting there, it's a liability for us, so hopefully we'll be able to sell it. So I'd ask you to consider two separate motions. The first is approving the bid for the home at 3775 Old Sparta Road, and then allowing me to negotiate a sale of the house at 3631 Old Bridge Road.
Okay, so do I have a motion to approve the bid for 3775 removal?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Gilbert. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Any discussion? So we will vote on that first.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
And then do I have a motion for the second house at 3631, authorizing city manager to enter into
Negotiate for
negotiation,
the private sale, or negotiate for the sale of it.
what he said. Do I have a motion for that? Motion made by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Gilbert. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7B, consider awarding bids for semi-annual paving, asphalt mix, milling, and mineral aggregate. Mr. Mayo.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We opened our semi-annual material bids for asphalt milling and mineral aggregate on February 21st, with Rogers Group Incorporated being low on all bids. You can see here, glad to say the surface mix went down a little bit. So I respectfully request your approval on these bids.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Bajie. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Any discussion? Vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7C, consider authorizing the city manager to enter into an engineering contract for the design of storm sewer replacement on West Spring Street between South Cedar Avenue and Church Avenue to South Walnut Avenue. Mr. Mayo.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. We'd like to enter into agreement with Clinton Engineering for the design of this storm sewer system. You can see it here. Kind of tough to see. It's going to piggyback on an existing storm or a sanitary sewer project that the water department's initiating. What we got Highway 70 opened up, it'd be a prime opportunity to go in there and also upgrade this the storm sewer system. This shows the system a little bit better. The existing system's here in red. It's got a 42-inch pipe and also an existing 3x3 box entering into a structure here. And then there's a 24-inch pipe that runs underneath this area here and then dump it into a larger 48-inch under South Walnut. Unfortunately, this 24 is undersized and causing some issues up here in this location. Prime opportunity to get this, this system upgraded all at one time. The cost of this design is $14,500. I'd be happy to answer any questions, and I respectfully request your approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Gilbert. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Baji. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7D, consider rescinding 10-2022 motion to purchase one pickup truck for the electric department and one pickup truck with service body for the gas department utilizing the statewide bid contract. Mr. Haney.
Mayor and council members, we were notified that two of the vehicles that were approved by council on October 20th of 22 would not be available to purchase this year. So I'm asking you to rescind the approval to purchase the 3/4 ton pickup for the electric department and the 3/4 ton with service bed for the gas department.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Is there a second?
Second.
Second made by Councilman Baji. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7E, consider approval to purchase one pickup truck utilizing the statewide bid contract number 209. Mr. Haney.
Mayor and council members, I'm asking for your approval to purchase a half-ton pickup from the state contract for $45,150. This vehicle would replace an aging unit that we were looking to replace in July. But since it is available now, we're asking you to go ahead and purchase it now, and we would re-budget for the 3/4 ton pickup in the new budget for next year. I know gas department is still looking at their options for their truck that we had to rescind as well.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Baji. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. 7F, consider authorizing the city manager to execute agreements with the Putnam County School Board and Highlands Residential Service for the relocation of Eagles Landing Pump Station. Mr. Turner.
Mayor and members of the council, the Highlands Residential Services was needing to build a pump station for their development off of Buffalo Valley and Eagles Landing Drive out there. We worked out a deal to where the pump station could be located at a central location and allow us to abandon our Eagles Landing pump station, which is a little over 50 years old, and the Cane Creek School pump station, and bring them all into one station. The pump station would be located on the school property shown on this drawing. The agreement would basically Highlands Residential would pay for the engineering and the construction of the project. The Board of Education's furnishing the easement, and they're contributing some money to that project as well. We would own and operate the station when it's constructed. We currently own and operate the Eagles Landing pump station, so we'd just still be operating one pump station. And then we would contribute $100,000 to this project. One benefit too to this project is it would reroute the sewer flows from our Eagles Landing pump station. Presently, they pump over to West End and put it at a different location, and we wouldn't have to double pump that sewage. I want to point out that the agreement, there's actually two agreements that you'll be approving here. The first one has sort of basically all the structure of the deal. And then the second one is just the monetary contribution of $100,000. And I recommend your approval on these agreements.
Thank you. Is there a motion? Motion made by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Gilbert. Any discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7G, consider authorizing the city manager to enter into a contract with the Office of Criminal Justice Programs, accepting a Violent Crime Intervention Fund formula grant, VCI-FFG, and authorizing the purchase of an armored rescue vehicle with the VCI-FFG monies and American Rescue Plan Act monies. Chief Evans.
That's a lot.
That was a mouthful. Yes.
Mayor and Council, first of all, thank you for the opportunity to present this tonight. I know it was kind of late notice, and as city manager probably shared with you that we didn't get notification that the grant had been approved until after work session. So again, thank you for giving us this opportunity this evening. So if you may recall, back in November, we came to the council to seek permission to apply for these grants. There's actually two grants. We've only got notified of the one, and that's the formula-based grant. So after receiving approval, we submitted our application for both of those grants. And then again, earlier this week, got approval from the Office of Criminal Justice Programs on the formula-based grant. So what we're seeking here is to, first of all, accept the terms of the grant, and that's $225,000 and $904. And then secondly, to take that money, which was part of the grant application. So this was the equipment item that we submitted in the application. And so to take that money and apply that to the purchase of this armored rescue vehicle, and then supplement that purchase with the American Rescue Plan Act money of $96,746. So the grant actually runs from March the 1st, 2023 through June of 2025. So there's a 3-year budget of this. We have budgeted this money actually in next fiscal year. So we won't actually write a check until the vehicle is delivered. We negotiated, I think if you look at some of that material that I sent you, it actually talks about a 50% up front and then 50% upon prior to delivery. We've negotiated a net 30 with that company. So we won't write a check until that vehicle's ready to be delivered. And it's about so they build these per the specifications. So you actually pick out, the options that you want. So those are in there. And if you may have noticed, this thing is built on an F-550 frame, a Ford F-550 frame. So, and the one thing that makes this specific vehicle appealing to us is none of that drivetrain is altered. So all that warranty is in place. So essentially, I guess, summing it all up, the total purchase is $322,650. The vehicle is manufactured by Teradyne Armored Vehicles. They are a sole source provider because there is no one else that makes this vehicle to these specifications. There are other armored rescue vehicles out there, different specifications. This is the one we think meets our needs and our purpose. And I'd recommend your approval.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Bocci. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Any discussion?
I have a question. Did they give you a lead time on once it's ordered, delivery date? What is?
We're obviously they give you a range, but I think that range extends out about 8 months, 8 to 10 months.
And it looks like in here, they mentioned even it being used for rescues and weather-related incidences as well.
Yeah, there's all kinds of documentation out there and that of course, we hopefully won't have this issue, but they've used vehicles like this for mudslides to be able to, in any kind of inclement weather, massive snowstorms, because of the size and weight of the vehicle, it's able to negotiate those terrains. And so it has multiple capabilities.
Including being used in the Christmas parade, right?
Absolutely.
Just kidding. We won't do that. New car. Any other discussion? Okay, all vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. 7H, consider the cancellation of both the regularly scheduled city council work session on Monday, March 13th, 2023, and the regularly scheduled city council meeting on Thursday, March 16th, 2023. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Motion made by Councilman Gilbert. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Vice Mayor Eldridge. Any discussion?
Mayor, we're asking this due to that being spring break week. If some items come up that we have to meet, we can consider a special called meeting. But since we know we're gonna have some people out that week, that's why we ask you to consider that.
Thank you. Any more discussion? All vote.
All votes correct. 5 yes, motion carries.
Thank you. That concludes the agenda portion of the meeting. We now have time to have any citizens who would like to speak on non-agenda items. Do we have anyone here tonight? Right. Seeing none, we will close that portion. Is there anything any of the council would like to speak about in comments? Nope. Seeing none, meeting is adjourned.
Hey, look.